The wind howled across the shores of the East China Sea, stirring the waves into frothing peaks. Clouds thickened overhead, casting shadows over the fortress city of Chintang Pass. Within its mighty walls, a storm of a different kind brewed. Inside the grand hall of the commander's mansion, Lady Yin clutched her swollen belly, sweat glistening on her brow. 3 years and 6 months. She had carried this child for a length of time beyond natural reason, enduring whispers from the servants. Li Jing, the great general of Chintang Pass, was skeptical. 3 years, he muttered, pacing the halls at night. What kind of child takes 3 years to be born? Even as Lady Yin cried out in pain, Li Jing stood outside, arms crossed, eyes clouded with unease. Then, at long last, a cry filled the air. Or rather, there wasn't one. Silence. The midwives gasped, stepping back, their faces pale. Li Jing pushed into the room, his heart hammering. On the bloodied sheets was not a child, but a smooth, red flesh ball. With a cry of fury, Li Jing drew his sword and stepped forward. "Demon," he spat. "This is no child of mine." Before anyone could stop him, he slashed down. The blade cut through the fleshy mass, splitting it open, and from within, something burst forth. A child, no, a boy, leapt from the remnants of the cocoon. He was small, yet unnaturally strong, his skin fair, his features delicate. But it was his eyes, bright, intelligent, and filled with an uncanny awareness that froze everyone in place. In his tiny hands, he gripped 2 objects, a shining gold bracelet in one hand and a red silk sash wrapped around the other. Then he laughed, a full, hearty laugh, not the wail of a newborn, but the chuckle of a child who had seen the world and found it amusing. The hall remained silent. No one dared to move. Then, a gust of wind swept through the room, and from the air itself, a voice boomed like thunder. "This child is no ordinary being." The air shimmered, and from a cloud of golden light, a figure descended. It was Taiyi Zhenren, one of the great Taoist immortals. "General Li Jing," Taiyi said, his voice calm but firm. "Do not act in haste. This boy is a gift from the heavens." Li Jing's grip on his sword tightened. A gift? He was born from a demon's egg. Taiyi Zhenren shook his head. No demon was involved. This child was conceived by celestial design. He is destined for greatness. At these words, the baby, still clutching his bracelet and sash, looked up at the immortal. Taiyi smiled. "Yes, this one will do." He turned to the parents. "Name him Nezha." Lady Yin, still weak but filled with an unshakable sense of wonder, whispered the name under her breath. "Nezha." The child giggled again, and so, against all reason, Nezha came into the world. The days passed, and it became clear that Nezha was unlike any other child. By the time he was a month old, he could walk and talk. By his first year, he ran faster than the wind. By the time he was 3, he could leap over rooftops and outrun the palace guards. Li Jing, though still wary of the boy, could not deny that Nezha's talents were extraordinary. He was no longer certain whether his son was a blessing or a curse. But one thing was certain, Nezha was impossible to control. One day, as the boy ran through the palace courtyard, an old servant tried to stop him. "Young master, please, your father." Before he could finish, Nezha leapt into the air, spinning 3 times before landing on the roof of the main hall. He sat there, kicking his legs over the edge, laughing. The servant gasped, looking up in horror. "Young master, get down." But Nezha only grinned. "Why?" From across the courtyard, Li Jing emerged, his arms crossed. "Because I told you to." Nezha pouted. "But father, it's fun up here." Li Jing gritted his teeth. This child, his own flesh and blood, defied him at every turn. He was stronger than any normal boy, faster than any soldier, and he feared nothing. Taiyi Zhenren had said he was destined for greatness. But what did that mean? And would the world be able to handle him? On Nezha's 7th birthday, Taiyi Zhenren returned. The immortal looked down at the boy, who was now leaping from pillar to pillar. Taiyi nodded, impressed. It is time. Li Jing narrowed his eyes. Time for what? Taiyi turned to Nezha. Time for you to begin your training. Nezha leapt down in front of the immortal, eyes shining with excitement. Training? Like real warriors? Taiyi smiled. Better than warriors. He lifted his hand, and from the air, a fiery wheel appeared, glowing red and gold. A second later, a long spear materialized beside it. Nezha gasped. These are gifts for you, Taiyi said. The windfire wheels, the fire-tipped spear. With them, you will learn to fight like no other. Nezha grabbed the spear. The moment it touched his hand, fire sparked at the tip. The wheels hovered in the air, waiting. Taiyi chuckled. Step on them. Nezha hesitated. Then, with a quick jump, he landed on the wheels and shot into the sky. He barely had time to think before instinct kicked in. The wheels moved with his thoughts, spinning, tilting, flying. Nezha laughed, pure joy coursing through him. Below, Li Jing and the others watched in silent awe. Taiyi turned to them. This is just the beginning. Nezha streaked across the sky like a comet, unstoppable, fearless, wild. He was born different, and the world would never be the same again.